So this is my SawStop 10-inch professional cabinet saw, and this particular rip fence comes with a saw. It's standard. It's a very good rip fence. I have found a need to build and install a sacrificial fence. And the reason I do that primarily is if I use a dado blade, which is a wider than standard blade, in which case you need to move that dado blade. You need to move the fence closer and further away from the dado blade in order to accomplish what you're doing. And you cannot afford to have the dado blade touch the fence, obviously, because this is metal, and that would be a disaster. So what I have done is I have made a sacrificial fence. And you can see it's a U-shaped affair made from fairly substantial 3/4 inch plywood, and then I put a couple of end pieces on it here, and you'll see why in a second. So this fits nicely over the fence, and you push it in like that, and it's locked in place. And now I can move this over, and if the blade happens to touch this sacrificial fence, it's wood and it won't hurt anything. And it's very useful for the dado blade to actually inset the dado blade. Another accessory that I find very useful with my rip fence, oftentimes you'll want to cross-cut, and you want to do it repetitively. So you want to have a board of a certain width, and you want to do it repetitively. A way to do that is to make a block like this. This block I have glued 2 rare earth magnets to it through little cutouts in the bottom, little drill outs in the bottom, so it sticks to the surface of the saw. So what I would do is would measure for my cut, in this case 5 3/4 inches, and you're measuring to this particular block. Then I would put the piece I'm cutting up against that block and then pass it through the saw. And you'll notice that it no longer touches anything on the outboard side of the piece of wood. That's important because if you were to just do it against the fence like this, you're in danger of a kickback because the board gets trapped between the blade and the fence. Since this separates, you can repeatedly make the cut, and every time all you have to do is slide the wood against that block, and you'll repeat the exact same cut, and you'll do it safely. So that's a couple of accessories I use with my rip fence on the SawStop Professional. And as always, if you like this content, be sure and hit the subscribe button, and we'll notify you of future content.